This is the NBA Today.
The NBA Today.
Here's your host, Ryen Russillo.
What's up? It's Monday after the All-Star Weekend, and I have an entire choir behind me for this podcast. Ryen Russillo, a.k.a. Mr. Steal Your Girl, NBA Today on ESPNRadio.com if you want to find it there. We are brought to you by the insurance group of 21st Century Insurance. Get yourself protected, kids. All right. This is from Michael Cummings. This might be the best email we've gotten all season. He's the captain of the U.S. Army out at Fort Campbell in Kentucky. Ryan, no one can help me with this question. I need not just a basketball expert, but someone well-versed in old-school rap. So in other words, you. In his song, It Was a Good Day, Ice Cube says, quote, "Which park y'all playing basketball? Get me on the court and I'm trouble. Last week, bleeped around and got a triple-double." Does this mean he was keeping track of his stats during a pickup game? That has to count as a pickup game horror story, right? Who does that? If you count rebounds in a pickup game, you're a tool. Okay? Stop. A couple of you guys listening right now, you're like, what are you talking about? I had 14 yesterday. No, you didn't. You didn't have it. Guess what? Because none of them counted. Now, if we want to talk points, if you're playing at like 11 by ones and twos, you can figure out if you had like 0, 2, because you have to kind of keep track of your scoring. And as we all know, there's certain people out there that just no matter what, they're always shaving you a point. Like, all right, 4s. You're like, no, we're up 6-4. All right, 7-6. No, we're up 8-6. And you got to constantly remind them, so you got to remember your points. So I don't have a problem with that. But how are you tracking your own assists? You know? You giving yourself hockey assists? Well, I made the pass that made the pass. Well, no one does that, although you should do that in the NBA. Maybe, I don't know. It's such a great email because it also speaks to something else Ice Cube once said on America's Most Wanted. 225 is what I'm benching, but nowadays it still ain't enough. Man, late 80s, early 90s, you want to brag about benching 225? I know he's kind of a little compact dude, but we always know little compact dudes, shorter arms, less range, higher bench numbers for guys with long arms who would get annoyed about it all the time. Yeah, I think as much as we like Cube, there are stretches there where Cube probably was a terrible pickup player who also bragged about his bench numbers. I wanted to ask him about the benching thing when I met him in Houston, but man, he was such a nice dude. He even admitted that the tuck rule was the right call as a Raiders fan. And he was in Houston for the that would be Carolina, New England Super Bowl. He was down there, but I told him, I think I've told this story before, but I just told him, man, I used to just shoot all day long. Like when I got home from school from age of like 11, probably like, 10 to like 15, all I did was shoot. That's all I did. And I would listen to rap tapes. And I'd have an extension cord and a little boom box, and I would bring it all the way out. And I would listen to America's Most Wanted, listen to the Cactus album. I would listen to Takes a Nation of Millions. I would listen to Sex Packets by Digital Underground. That was such a great tape, man. I also love Stetsasonic. Kid and Play, I think I realized I was like, yeah, maybe these guys kind of suck. I'm not sure. D Nice was huge for me. Already told that story last week. All right, this is where the dudes are like, and then he talks about rap for such a long time. All right, so yes is the answer to that question. Yes, although we still like him, but I can't get over the transition that he made from who he was then. I mean, he was a mean dude. Didn't like a lot of people and rapped about it all the time. And then they're like, let's put him in family movies. I mean, seriously, though, like, can you imagine Old Dirty Bastard hosting Weekend at Disney for ESPN Radio? Like, that's essentially the transition that Cube made. Although ODB was a little bit further down the line than maybe Cube even got to.